Welcome to the 80-20 Baseball Podcast. Strike! The 80-20 Coaching Masterclass, our weekly get-together where coaches go from new to good and good to great. Mastering the fundamentals and the art of coaching.
Welcome, coaches, parents, players. Welcome to this week's get-together, 80-20 Baseball. Coach Bo here with you. We got the top 5 coaching posts of the month that I've curated. These top 5 messages plus a bonus that just came out a few minutes ago. These top 5 messages, we use these to boost our coaching game. The best of the best on X. Messages specifically for coaches, parents, players. We'll dive into that in just a second. But first, do you take the following things out with you as a coach when you go out to practice? Here are my 4 recommended items to have on you as a coach, to have on you, not with you in a bag or in the dugout or off to the side, but actually on your person. These 4 things, these should be a staple when it comes to us rolling out to practice. Number 1, a stopwatch. If you have a watch with a stopwatch, great. If not, you can get one at Walmart for $9, the local sporting goods store, probably for under $15. I like those that come with lanyards. Just have it around your neck. These smart watches, these newer watches, you often have to go through 2, 3, 4 steps to get to the stopwatch. Just make sure that's a quick, seamless process. All right, so that's number 1. Number 2, practice plans. Every practice should have a practice plan, and all the coaches that are there should have that practice plan. And number 3 and 4, these can actually go together or separate. A small notepad, a 3x5-ish size notepad. Something that has a little durability where you can keep it in your pocket. They sell these for $7, $8 on Amazon. You want the one that comes with a pen or at least the little loop that you can put the pen or pencil in. Always have a backup pen or pencil with you, maybe in your bag off to the side. But a small notepad, preferably that has the pen loop, so it's just connected. The pen or the pencil is attached to this small notepad. The pages in the notepad can just be small lined pages. They don't need to have a calendar or any of that. Just a place to take notes during practice. Now, we've talked over the years about a couple specific times that we want to use this notepad. There are different ways to utilize it and how it best fits with each of our priorities and how we want to use it. But definitely want to write down things that are praiseworthy. Definitely want to write down notes to self about how to improve a drill the next time you're doing it. Definitely want to take notes on things to share with a player at a better time or something that you want to address before the next game or before the next practice. So the 4 things that we should have on our body, not off to the side. You should have the practice plan in your pocket. Now, a lot of coaches will have them on a clipboard. That's not bad. The problem with having it on a clipboard, the clipboard is not easy to carry around with us throughout the practice. If we want to be the coaches that we should be, we are going to be engaged in practice, hitting ground balls, throwing the ball, pitching the ball, moving, doing things to help our players, moving cones or screens, buckets. Our hands are going to be busy throughout practice. It is not easy to have the practice plans stick by us throughout practice because we constantly set the clipboard down. And I know a lot of you right now are going, yeah, that's exactly what happens. It does. I prefer that we have 2 sets of practice plans, a copy on the clipboard that can be in our bag or something that we could sit down in the dugout and look at. But we have a copy of the practice plans that we fold up in our pocket. Or you've seen coaches kind of fold it into their waistband. That works too. It needs to be on our person where we can just reach down, look at it, put it right back. Now you might be thinking, Coach, but what if I want to write on the practice plan? You have your notepad, so you could use that as a backing. But I think the practice plan shouldn't have any writing on it during practice. That's what the notepad's for. You're taking notes. You're not redoing the practice plans. Improvise on the fly, and then when you get home that night on your computer, adjust the practice plans. Make note of what you did and then do it. The notepad essentially is the on-your-go notes that maybe tell you to do things later with the practice plans. The notepad has a hard backing. It's easy to write on. It's small. It's literally designed to write on. It fits in your pocket. You grab it, you write down the notes, you put it back in your pocket. The practice plan, same thing. You open it up, you simply read it, put it back real quick. You'll be doing this throughout practice. And that's why it's nice to have it on you in your pocket or maybe flapped over your waistband. Or maybe you have a better way to do it. Or maybe you found another way to do it. If you did, email me and let me know. I'd love to hear all the great ways to keep practice plans close by on our person throughout practice. So practice plans, this should be no more than one sheet. You can have front and back, but it should be no more than one sheet. The coaching plan has all the practice plans written for you over at 8020baseball.com, all the practice plans for the entire season, ready to go, print out. In fact, they're even editable, so you can put in the times for your practice and just print it out, PDF, done and done. And they're in the order in which you should use them, or I recommend using them. Practice 1, practice 2, so on and so forth. There's a 90-minute set and a 2-hour set. Each drill that's on there is shown on my 75-inch touchscreen, where I break it down, each drill that is on those practice plans. So you're going to know exactly what you're doing on the practice plan. So you have a stopwatch, a pen or a pencil or two, and a small notepad. Ideally, the notepad has the pen or pencil sleeve. That's the best. Now you might be thinking, Coach Bo, why not just use my phone instead of a written notepad? Here's why. Because the players don't know if we're on the phone, texting a friend, looking up our fantasy football points, doing work, if we're on Instagram or whatever. The players don't know that. They just see a coach on their phone. You could be writing down the ingredients to cure cancer, and all the kids are going to see is a coach on their phone, and they're just going to think that we're doing what most kids do on their phones, which is typically not productive stuff. Plus, by using a notepad to write the notes on and to keep notes, a small notepad, $7 or $8 on Amazon with a pen sleeve or a pencil sleeve, just fits right in your pocket, real easy. The second reason I like that notepad is because it helps avoid distractions that are on our phone. So we open up our phone, there's notifications, there's distractions. And with the finite amount of time we have out there at practice, you don't want to have any distractions. We barely have enough time to get our kids good at fielding ground balls, playing catch accurately, hitting the baseball, running the bases correctly, playing defense, knowing where to go. There are a lot of things that we got to cover. We don't have time for those little distractions that can really take us out of that mindset of being a great coach. So, practice plan, stopwatch, small notepad, pen or pencil. Those are the 4 things we should have on us every time we go out to practice. There will be some other gear you might have, of course, as a coach, but those things are the things that we have on us. I'm a huge fan of using the stopwatch to time transitions. I'm a huge fan of having a stopwatch to gamify drills, to add a competitive element where it's the team or a group of players versus the watch versus the time, not versus each other. It's a very healthy way to compete. Competing against a stopwatch is a very healthy way to compete. Usually helps the team bond and unify against the common goal rather than against each other. I'm not saying healthy group competitions and competitions against one another are a bad idea, but using a stopwatch with regard to competition or to drive up the competitive nature of practice, huge fan of that. Also great for timing those transitions that can easily end up being 3 or 4 minutes or 5 minutes long when they don't need to be more than 60 seconds, 90 seconds, 2 minutes tops. There's a lot of extra practice time that gets left on the table at almost every practice I ever go to watch. And a lot of it happens at the transitions, and a lot just because drills are inefficient. Now, real quick, I mentioned the coaching plan. The price on the coaching plan is going up. The first year of the coaching plan, the 80/20 baseball coaching plan, is coming to an end. That first year pricing will go up on January 1st. So if you want the best price on it, you want to get that before January 1st. You will not be disappointed. I guarantee that. You know, I've talked to a lot of older dads, coaches, guys who coached their kids when their kids were younger. Almost always, they tell me what they would have done differently, the areas they could have done better. The thing is, it's not like a business where you can start over. It's not a long-term 10-year, 20, 30-year thing. We get one shot. We get a tight window to be a youth baseball coach. And if you talk to a coach that's a high school or college coach or pro coach that's been doing it, they'll tell you they didn't know what they were doing for the most part for the first 5 or 10 years. They don't get really good until like year 15, 20. John Wooden didn't win his first championship until year 16. And that's 16 years of coaching college. He had been coaching high school before that. Probably 20 years of coaching before he really made it big and got it down. We get a tight window as youth coaches. Good news is the coaching plan takes away all the guessing. You don't have to wonder if you're doing it right. The coaching plan shows you exactly how to do it right at an elite level. So I always say, don't just coach, be a great coach. Because when you're older, you're going to feel good about yourself because you coached, but you're going to feel great about yourself because you know you were coaching the kids at a high level. So coaching plans right there on the 80/20 baseball homepage. I spent years building it out, so it's simple, clear, efficient. All the videos have been edited at least 3 times, if not 4 times, so they move efficiently and they only have what you really need on them. So you can apply elite coaching as quickly as possible. Speaking of elite coaching, These are the top 5 messages from coaches, the coaching world that I've curated. These are really good. So let's dive into our top 5 coaching posts of the month.
The top 5 coaching posts of the month.
All right, number 1. This one is from Justin Sua. Justin Sua, S-U-A. He put this out 5 days ago on X. This is the longest of all the posts. Here's what he said. In 2014, while I was with the Boston Red Sox organization, a very experienced coach taught me a powerful lesson. One day during spring training, a few very young minor league players were making subtle excuses before they even stepped onto the field. One mentioned he hadn't slept well. Another said that he doesn't play well in the early morning. A third player said he had just finished a workout and wasn't going to perform well because he likes to lift weights after practice. This coach drew my attention to these micro excuses that the players were making, explaining that they were using a just-in-case reason for future poor performance. It's a subtle way players try to protect themselves, he said, just in case they don't play well. They're already offering a reason why. Poor sleep, the weather, the workout. It's a form of self-sabotage, planting a seed that lowers expectations before their performance even begins. My wise friend explained that these, quote, just-in-case excuses quietly undermine an athlete's ability to give their best. As coaches, we need to spot them, name them, and push back against them. He said that leaders should not let people preload reasons for failure by not allowing them to take their foot off the gas before the race even begins. What a great and also interesting message. Justin Sua is a good follow on X. Let's take this message to heart, and while we're out there, let's work on having good awareness of what our players are saying and doing, especially before games. Typically, the lower levels, the younger ages, the 7s, 8s, and 9s, 10s, probably not going to hear much of this. You'll definitely start hearing this stuff around junior high, definitely high school. But they're lowering their expectations almost subconsciously, almost unknowingly, before their performance even begins. So when we see these just-in-case excuses, let's spot them, name them, and push back against them. Let's not be rude about it, but let's call it out. Let's take the wind out of that excuse sail from Jump Street. Post number 2 of our top 5 coaching posts of the month. This one is from Trey Wallace at @TreyWallace_. He put this out a week ago, talking about Clark Leah. Is it Leah or Leah? The Vanderbilt coach, the Vanderbilt football coach, and said he's a real leader. He doesn't blame the NC2A committee for them not getting in the playoffs. So Vanderbilt didn't get selected for the college football playoff. I heard a few coaches blaming the committee, complaining about how they didn't get in. And Clark, the coach at Vanderbilt, as Trey Wallace says here, he did not blame anyone besides themselves. He said they had the chance. They had the chance to win at Alabama, the chance to win at Texas, and they didn't. And the Vanderbilt football coach said about not getting selected, quote, "That's no one's fault except our own. We had our opportunities and we didn't do enough. We are not victims in this process. Our ownership is in coming up short," end quote. This is really good leadership. So when we don't win first place or when we don't win that game, do we blame the umpires? When the tournament gives us the early game or the late game or whatever game against whatever opponent, the answer should just be like Jocko Willink says, good. Got the 8 a.m. game against the number 1 seed? Good. Coaches, be careful blaming the tournament director for the schedule or the seeding or whatever. Be very careful talking about the umpire. Let's not blame the umpires. We talk about this next generation, this younger generation. They don't get it. They don't get it. They don't get it because we've let them down. If kids are acting a fool, that's on us. Parents, coaches, the school system, which I've been a part of for a lot of years, is heavily to blame for this. My day job, I work with a lot of teachers and I help mentor younger teachers, but coaches, we're doing the same thing a lot of times. Blaming the tournament schedule, blaming the field, blaming the weather, blaming the other team. Some of it may be valid, but I'll tell you what, when our kids are 30 years old, 40 years old, trying to run their own lives, trying to lead their own families, we don't want their mindset to be rooted in those seeds that we planted years ago when they were kids, when we were leading them and we were making excuses about everything under the sun. I love when I hear a coach say, It's no one else's fault except for our own. We had the opportunity. We didn't do enough. We're not victims in this process. Love it. So that's what the Vanderbilt football coach said. Love that. Trey Wallace _ posted that on X. Number 3 on our top 5 coaching posts of the month, the Sport Parent recently posted this. Parents who cheer as loud for other children as they do their own are great parents to have around. Enough said. How do I know which parents are going to be positive or going to be good for our team's culture? How about those that cheer for the other kids loudly, not just their own? That's a really good sign of a parent that gets it. Number 4 on our top 5 coaching posts of the month. Now, this one's been posted by a lot of people. I'll just read the quote. It's been posted recently by a lot of people, and it is a Nick Saban quote. So I'll give credit to Coach Nick Saban on this. Nick Saban said, quote, "When a player drops the ball, we say, catch the ball." And he said, "That's the worst coaching point in the history of coaching." Now, of course, that's a football message, but does that sound familiar to some of the things that we say or we hear out on a baseball field? Pitcher can't throw strikes. We say, hey, just throw strikes, throw strikes, throw strikes. That's what he's saying is the worst coaching point in the history of coaching. His example of a wide receiver not catching the ball, and then we tell them, catch the ball, that's the same thing as a pitcher not throwing strikes, and we tell them to throw strikes. Or if they miss the ball, say, hey, hit the ball, make contact. And so Coach Saban, and I've studied him over the years, love listening to him on game day, Saturday mornings. And I think the last college game day is this coming Saturday. Love that show. Nick Saban talks about coaching the root issue. Coach up the root issue, not the symptom. The symptom is the player dropped the ball. The symptom is the pitcher not throwing strikes. The symptom is the batter striking out. The symptom is the ground ball going under the infielder's glove or the drop fly ball or whatever. That's the symptom. That's the result. That's not the root reason. That's not the root cause. So we need to address that. All right, coaching post number 5 by Jacob Turner. Jacob Turner posted this on X, said, I have 4 kids. They all play sports. The chances of them making money from it are so low that it doesn't even cross my mind. I want them to have fun, learn skills, and experience failure. So parents, here is my plea. Stop acting like your 10-year-old is going to get drafted tomorrow. Great message. Have fun, learn skills, experience failure so they can get better at it. We want to desensitize our kids to failure by having them experience it. So we want them to have fun, make friends, learn skills, have success, but also successfully deal with failure that's inherent, especially in baseball and all the sports. Probably the best training ground for life for our young kids. Youth sports, especially baseball. All right, there was a bonus post that came out just today. I'm recording this on Monday the 15th. You'll be listening to this. It comes out on December 16th. Just posted today, and this is by @Chris Victory. Posted this quote by Coach Cignetti, the Indiana football coach, the number 1 ranked team in the country, Indiana football, the Hoosiers. And this is a quick one-liner, 7 words. He said on his 60 Minutes interview yesterday, Coach Cignetti said, quote, "There is no magic here. It's fundamentals." So I'm sure the question was, and I can't wait to listen to this interview. I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm sure the question was along the lines of, what are you doing differently? What is the magic recipe? What's the magic sauce? And his response was, quote, "There is no magic here. It's fundamentals." I've coached around a lot of baseball coaches that want to have the magic sauce. They want to have the new thing, the new training method. And when I say new, not a better version of the fundamentals, not a better way to coach fundamentals. Like they want to have this like focus on stuff that, and a lot of this is the new school coaches looking for these new things to sound knowledgeable about. You know what great coaching is all about? Being really knowledgeable and mastering the coaching of the fundamentals, not coaching some recent little nuance that moves the needle 1/10 of 1%. The fundamentals, the 80-20 principle, the fundamentals, master the fundamentals. And at the youth game, we barely have enough time to master the fundamentals, much less master anything else. I've only seen one team this last year that mastered the fundamentals. One. Out of all the teams I watched, all the practices, all the games I watched, and that was that Chinese Taipei team at the Little League World Series. They mastered the fundamentals. They didn't get cute. They didn't try to learn 100 things. They mastered the 10 things that move the needle 97%. And they mastered the heck out of the fundamentals. They all look like Ozzie Smith. They mastered fielding ground balls, making accurate throws, quick feeds, quick transitions, quick releases, exceptional footwork, They had a heck of a hitting plan, heck of a hitting approach. They hit the ball where it was pitched. They swung at their pitches, and they hit line drives where it was pitched. If it was away, line drives away. If it was in, line drives to the pull side. Middle in, middle away, back up the middle. So, like Coach Signetti says, there's no magic recipe. Few coaches get crushed. Consistently good coaches on the fundamentals create awesome teams. There's no magic sauce. It's the fundamentals and getting really good at the fundamentals. And if you want to get good at the fundamentals, I got every drill outlined. I draw it out on my 75-inch touchscreen. It's all in the coaching plan. You master the fundamentals. I show you exactly how to do it. You'll be running the best drills around, hands down. If you run them the way I describe them on the videos, then I break them all down, use the PDFs when you go out to practice. And there's a bunch of other great stuff at 8020baseball.com too. Now, I did mention last week that I was going to talk about how we can avoid losing control of our team and players. We're running a little tight on time. I like to keep these podcast episodes each week digestible so they fit into your busy schedules. So we'll come back to that next week. We're just going to touch on a couple little things, but I think that'll be best to wait for next week. I also want to share with you the optimal base running mindset our players should have. Base running is a mindset thing. It's not necessarily about who's the fastest or who slides the best. It's a mindset thing, and we're going to talk about the optimal base running mindset next week too. Appreciate you all being here. And until next week, let's be sure to take care of our health so we can be at our best for our families, our close friends, our players, our team. Let's take this information and, like the late, great Tony Gwynn with 2 strikes, let's go put it into play. Good things will happen, and then we'll go from there. All right. Always great being here with all of you. Tell me about your journey. Email me, coachbo at 8020baseball.com. Love hearing from coaches. Got some great emails just this past week. I love hearing your story. Love hearing all these great things that you're doing. I love to hear how the 8020 Baseball podcast, the coaching plan, all of this is helping to make you a much better coach. So email me, coachbo at 8020baseball.com. Y'all take care. And until next week, adios.
This has been the 80-20 Baseball Podcast, the 80-20 Baseball Masterclass. We got this. Now, let's take the field.